Today in Math 30-1, we're going to look at topic 5.2, the transformations of sine functions, or sinusoidal functions, as they're formally called. Let's examine y is equal to a times the sine of bx. That's what we left off with yesterday. We learned that a was our amplitude, or our vertical stretch, and that 2 pi divided by b was the period. Now there's two other parameters we're going to add to this, and we're going to talk about, and that is c and d. Y is equal to a times the sine of b times x minus c plus d. D is the vertical shift, up or down. If d was plus 3, the whole graph would shift up 3 units. If d was minus 2, the whole graph would shift down 2 units. C is the shift right or left, or the horizontal shift. Let's look at a graph. Y is equal to negative 2 times the sine of 2x plus pi over 3 plus 3. This is going to be in radian mode. Now, first of all, let's look at some steps. The steps are to apply our stretches first, and then apply your translations. Now, the negative 2 means that every y value is going to be multiplied by negative 2. We have to factor a 2 out of 2x plus pi over 3, and that would become 2 times x plus pi over 6, plus 3 on the back end. That 2 in front that we factored out means that all of the x values are going to be divided by 2. The pi over 6 means it's going to shift pi over 6 units to the left and 3 units up. So let's get started. Let's start with our basic graph of y is equal to the sine of x. We know that if x is 0, y is 0. As x moves to pi over 2, the sine is going to be 1. As it moves to pi, it's back to 0. 3 pi over 2 is negative 1. And 2 pi, it's back to 0. That's enough of our points, but we can work with those. Next, we're going to look at what happens when we apply our stretches. Well, our first stretch is to multiply every y value by negative 2. 0 times negative 2 is 0. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. 0 times negative 2 is 0. Negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2. And the last y value is 0. Now we have to deal with our x values. Because there's a 2 factored out in front of the x, that means that every x value, x coordinate, is going to be divided by 2. So 0 divided by 2 is 0. Pi over 2 divided by 2 is pi over 4. Pi divided by 2 is pi over 2. 3 pi over 2 is 3 pi over 4. And 2 pi divided by 2 is pi. There are our stretches. Now we have to apply our translations. Transformations. Now, the point 0, 0 is going to be shifted 3 units up. So every y coordinate is going to go up 3 units. So that means 0 goes to 3, negative 2 goes to 1, 0 goes to 3, 2 goes to 5, and 0 goes to 3. Now my x coordinates, notice that they're all going to shift pi over 6 units to the left. So that means I have to subtract pi over 6. So 0 is going to go to negative pi over 6. Pi over 4 minus pi over 6 is pi over 12. Pi over 2 minus pi over 6 is pi over 3. Practice your fractions, people. 3 pi over 4, it goes to 7 pi over 12. And pi goes to 5 pi over 6. Next, let's graph it. Plot your points. starting with negative pi over 6 and 3. Put your dot there. Next one is going to go to pi over 12 and 1. And there's going to be our dots. Connect your graphs, and there you have a translation. Notice on here, A, B, C, and D, we're going to plot some points. There's something else here, that's D. D is the median or the middle of the graph. I could draw a line through y is equal to D, and that would go right through the middle, right there. There's the middle, that's D. From D, we can figure out the amplitude. The amplitude, that distance now on the left of the y-axis, is the shift. That's your vertical shift of pi over 6 units. That's your C value. And there's our A. Your assignment is due page 250, 1 to 7, and 14 to 16.